Current world #1 golfer Scottie Scheffler just dropped a bold statement, and it's got the entire golf world buzzing. That single line hit so hard it could flip the game, as we know it. Get ready, because we're breaking down the daring words from Scottie Scheffler that are shaking the PGA Tour to its core. Athletes talk, golfers talk, and sometimes they talk way more than people care to hear. But what could one player say that makes a century-old power the sport's rolling force? Pause and rethink its future. You should know not every golfer has the clout to drop words this heavy when pressure is real inside that room. If you love the untold stories and drama in golf, make sure you subscribe to the Golf Mode TV channel, and we've got the inside scoop every week. So the first question is simple: who is this guy? Scottie Scheffler is widely seen as one of the best golfers on the planet. And born on June 21, 1996, it's fair to say he's one of the strongest forces of his generation in golf right now. His connection to the game didn't come overnight either. Introduced to golf by his father, Scheffler started junior golf at just 5 years old, building habits early without hype or shortcuts. By high school, his name was already buzzing as a future star. Not just potential, but proof. That momentum carried him to a strong college run at the University of Texas at Austin, where he competed for the Texas Longhorns, sharpening his edge and stacking wins along the way with serious intent. Turning pro didn't come with fireworks or loud talk, but the results spoke fast and loud. Scottie Scheffler stepped onto the PGA Tour with a calm face and serious hunger, and it didn't take long before players noticed. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't chasing headlines, he was chasing wins, and that quiet grind made people nervous. Week after week, Scheffler kept stacking strong finishes, proving this wasn't luck or hype. His swing stayed tight, his nerves stayed cold, and suddenly his name was sitting near the top of leaderboards everywhere. This wasn't a quick run, this was a warning shot to the entire field. What really separates Scheffler is how unfazed he looks under pressure. Big crowds, major moments, final holes, none of it seems to shake him. While others tense up, he stays locked in, moving like the moment belongs to him. That mindset is dangerous in a sport built on nerves. Players talk about it behind closed doors too. They say Scheffler doesn't give openings, doesn't blink, and doesn't hand out chances. He plays clean, stays patient, and waits for mistakes like a hunter watching prey. That calm presence has turned him from contender to problem real fast. By the time Scheffler climbed to world #1, it felt less like a surprise and more like destiny playing out. He wasn't loud about it, didn't celebrate wildly, just kept showing up and dominating. That steady rise made him impossible to ignore and even harder to beat. And that's why when Scheffler speaks now, people listen closely. This isn't a random voice in the locker room. This is the top guy setting the tone. When someone at the peak starts questioning the system, it hits different. And that's exactly why his recent words landed like a shockwave across the PGA Tour. Since then, this rising force has logged multiple dominant runs and sat at #1 in the official world golf ranking for a total of. He first reached the top spot in March 2022, and his longest reign stretched in icy cold 29 straight weeks from March 2022 through October 2022, sending a loud message to the field. That level of control from someone so young is no accident. Scheffler's game is built on deadly iron play, a tight short game, and a putter that doesn't flinch. He's a pure ball striker with a calm presence that never cracks, even when heat is on. And unlike names known for off-course noise, Scheffler stays locked in drama-free and all business, which only makes his dominance feel heavier every week. Because of that calm image, many fans assumed Scheffler would always stay quiet and stay in line. He looked like the perfect face for tradition, rules, and old-school golf values. No wild quotes, no headlines, no noise, just fairways and flags. That's exactly why what came next caught so many people off guard. When someone this controlled finally speaks up, it hits harder than trash talk ever could. This wasn't a rant. It wasn't emotion spilling over. It was measured and deliberate. And that's what made insiders pause. Because when the quiet guy breaks silence, it usually means something serious is brewing. Behind the scenes, the PGA Tour has been walking a tightrope for a while now. Players talk privately, agents whisper, and frustration simmers where cameras can't see. Most stars dodge the topic publicly, choosing safety over smoke, especially when their careers are peaking. Scheffler didn't do that. Instead of dancing around the issue, he addressed it straight on, knowing full well the weight his words carry. That's not something a can pull off. Only someone sitting at the very top can say it out loud and force the room to listen. The moment his statement dropped, reactions started flying fast. Fans debated, media scrambled, and insiders leaned in close. Some praised his honesty. Others said he crossed an invisible line, but nobody ignored it. The conversation shifted instantly, and that alone says everything. This wasn't just a soundbite for clicks, it was a signal that the balance of power inside golf might be shifted. And when the world's #1 golfer questions how things are run, it puts pressure on the entire system. Whether they're ready for it or not, maybe it's because he's still early in his pro run, but Scottie never looked like that type of guy. He's not loud, not messy, not chasing headlines. So when he finally spoke up, it wasn't about ego or attention. It was about the subject itself, and that subject was LIV Golf, or at least the storm circling it. At this point, it's no secret that LIV has become a real problem for the PGA Tour. And honestly, it's not hard to see. For starters, the LIV Golf Series runs shorter 54-hole events, with just 48 players, flipping the traditional 72-hole PGA setup on its head. On top of that, players are cashing checks that blow PGA payouts out of the water. So even with all the noise and backlash around LIV, the massive money flooding in makes the temptation real, strong, and impossible to ignore for a lot of players right now. One major source of tension around the breakaway tour comes down to where the money flows from. LIV Golf is backed by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, a global powerhouse that's been buying into sports at a rapid pace. Critics argue this move into golf is about image control, while supporters say it's simply big money chasing big influence. Either way, the debate stays loud and uncomfortable, and it refuses to fade. Despite the backlash, a long list of PGA names still made the jump. We're talking Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, Bubba Watson, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Sergio Garcia, Henrik Stenson, Patrick Reed, and even Louis Oosthuizen. That's a stacked lineup by any standard. Feeling the pressure at its doorstep, the PGA Tour has been scrambling to lock down loyalty, knowing that holding on to players now means protecting its future later. So what did the PGA Tour actually do when pressure hit? First, they came down hard, with bans for any player who dared to test the LIV Golf waters. Even a single appearance triggered consequences, blocking those players from PGA Tour events, and even affiliated stages like the Ryder Cup. Many called it strict, some called it desperate, but either way the message was loud and clear. But that wasn't the only move. The tour also fired back with money.
Real money, purses were boosted to compete with LIV's massive payouts, with several events jumping to $20 million and the Players' Championships soaring to a jaw-dropping 25. On top of that, the PGA rolled out an earnings assurance plan, guaranteeing any player who tees it up in at least 15 events a minimum of $500,000, paid for the season no matter how the leaderboard treats them. On paper, those moves looked strong, even generous. Bigger checks, guaranteed money, and a tighter grip on who plays where. But behind closed doors, not everyone was celebrating. Some players saw protection, others saw pressure dressed up as security, and that split started real conversations inside locker rooms. For years, the PGA Tour sold tradition and legacy as the reward. Now money was front and center, changing the tone fast. When a system pivots this hard, questions naturally follow, and that shift set the stage for someone with real power to finally speak up. That's where Scottie Scheffler enters the moment. Not as a rebel, not as a defector, but as the guy sitting at the top with nothing to prove. When you're #1, your words don't sound like complaints. They sound like signals, and people listen differently when the voice comes from the peak. Scheffler didn't attack, didn't threaten, didn't posture. He questioned the direction, balance, and what the future should really look like. That calm delivery made it hit harder. Because it wasn't emotional, it was intentional. And that's what shook the room. His comments exposed something deeper than tours and payouts. They revealed a growing tension between control and choice inside professional golf. Players want freedom, stability, and respect, not just bigger numbers on a check. And when someone like Scheffler says that out loud, it forces uncomfortable reflection. This wasn't about picking sides, it was about acknowledging reality. Golf isn't frozen in time anymore, and pretending otherwise won't stop change. Whether the tour liked it or not, Scheffler's words cracked open a conversation that can't be shut down easily now. Now let's be real. A lot of the PGA Tour's recent changes look very close to the LEV model. And guess what? They're working. Some golfers are actually happy with the shift. Take Spanish star Jon Rahm, the 2023 Masters winner, who flat out admitted, without LEV golf, this wouldn't have happened. That says a lot, and it shows how serious this pressure really was. Rahm didn't stop there. He added that he wished the PGA Tour hadn't waited so long to improve conditions for its players. And honestly, that point hits hard. Maybe if these upgrades had been in place earlier, the tour wouldn't have watched so many big names walk out the door. Sometimes it takes a real threat to force real change. And golf just learned that lesson the loud way. But here's where things get shaky. While a lot of the new policies landed well, the move to eliminate cuts has sparked serious pushback, and one of the loudest skeptics is Scottie Scheffler himself. Cuts are baked into golf's DNA. They separate grinders from pretenders, and removing them messes with the soul of the sport. The PGA Tour announced a schedule shift starting in 2024, rolling out 8 designated events with limited fields. We're talking 70-80 players, massive prize pools, and no traditional 36-hole cut. That's exactly why alarms are going off. Because the setup looks way too close to the LEV golf format. Rory McIlroy and Max Homa back the plan, but the reigning Masters champion clearly isn't convinced, and that hesitation speaks volumes. While Scheffler has backed most PGA changes, the no-cut format rubbed him the wrong way. Cuts matter to golf's identity, and even Scottie admitted he's split. Saying the cuts are hard, because I don't have a strong opinion either way. I'm 50-50 on that. Because as a player I think a cut is good, but from a sponsor and fan point of view it's arguably not very good. So he stays neutral. Not picking a side, that sounds harmless. But then came the line. Scheffler explained that in stacked weeks, sometimes missing the cut feels cleaner. Saying if we are going to have an elevated event the week before a major with no cut, and I show up and play 2 terrible rounds, sometimes you'd rather say, okay, just take me out of the tournament. Let me reset and get ready for next week. When the world #1 talks like that, it's bound to shake things up. Statements like this don't just float by unnoticed. They spark debate fast. And maybe this isn't being emotional or old school, because he's far from alone in thinking this way. Veteran golfer Ryan Armour shares the same concern, and believes the no-cut format could actually push players closer to LEV golf. That creates bad blood for players sitting lower in the rankings, which is wild considering that's exactly what the PGA was trying to stop. Armour broke it down clearly, saying, say you finished 75th on the points list. Just using that as an example. Yes, you had a really good year, but you don't get in any of the designated events. That reality hits harder than people want to admit. That's where the frustration really kicks in. You grind all season, stack results, stay consistent, and still find yourself locked out when the biggest stages roll around. For players outside the top tier, it feels like the door is closing right in their face. Not because of bad play, but because of structure. Instead of rewarding depth, the system starts favoring a small circle. That creates tension fast, especially among guys fighting week to week to keep their cards. When opportunity shrinks, resentment grows, and that's when loyalty starts slipping, whether the tour wants to admit it or not. And that's the part people keep missing. The no-cut model was supposed to stabilize the tour, not divide it, but when fewer players get access to top events and top money, the gap widens instantly. Those on the outside start asking tough questions, and suddenly LEV doesn't look so crazy anymore. This isn't about greed, it's about survival. Careers are short, windows are tight, and security matters. If golfers feel boxed out by design, they're going to look elsewhere. That pressure doesn't come from rebels, it comes from reality. Hitting hard. So when Scottie Scheffler speaks on this, it's not just personal preference, it's a warning. He's pointing at a system that might be protecting the top while quietly squeezing the rest. And that imbalance never ends well. In any The PGA Tour is trying to evolve, but evolution comes with risks. If they misjudge the balance between stars and grinders, the fallout could be massive. Scheffler didn't yell, didn't attack, he just said it plainly. And sometimes those calm words cause the biggest shakeup. If you love untold stories and real drama in golf, make sure you subscribe to Golf Mode TV channel, because we bring the inside scoop every single week. But what do you think? Are you backing Scheffler's take,
Or is he overreacting? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like and subscribe to the channel for more, so we can debate it together every week right now, right here.